Started in 2018, all right? And as you know, we are Art for Freedom. We are a nonprofit organization. And we strive and we dedicate ourselves to archiving history and Black history in particular, but all American history, because all of our history matters. All right, so they're about to bring food out in a second, so I'll kind of be moving along here. We are going live, not on the crowd, but we're going live with the presentation. So we will be doing some technical things up here, so you don't have to pay attention to this anymore. But anyway, thank you all for coming out. We're glad to have you. You all look beautiful, and we have waiting on Tougaloo College to come right now. But they're about to start serving, so y'all can enjoy yourselves. So they will be asking if you have beef, fish, or whatnot. So please let them know, and I'll be running around like a chicken with my head cut off until this is over. So you just say my name twice, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is Trevor McCullough. He's our media person today. All right. This is my beautiful fiance Sierra Hill here. All right. We have my father, Will Kelly there. He's our president. We have Christopher Winfield. He's our artist, our filmmaker. He's an independent artist and a filmmaker. So today we will have a special presentation from Mrs. Sibley. She has her husband here also. She's also an activist. She runs a nonprofit, and she has some great things for you all to see today. All right, so we'll be working, and she'll give her presentation, and then we'll go from there. We will have a snippet from our film that will be screened tomorrow at Tougaloo's program up here from Michael O'Brien. So we got that special thing in the thing for y'all. So tomorrow you have to go to our webpage on Facebook. It's at Art for Freedom. I will share that with everybody via email, and they will be screening our film tomorrow at 11:30 for Tougaloo's program. Okay, so if we like continue, people don't still come in, so just need me to say hello, and I'm going to acknowledge everybody before we leave here. So just kind of give y'all a heads up. All right, thank you.
not a raisin in the sun that we're showing tonight, but I want to show you a short play. And when I came across that quote by Malcolm X, I did not see the clip, I came across a quote in college, but I didn't see the clip until many years after that. But this is pretty much the basis of my play, The Cleaning Ladies. Malcolm X says, the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And when I saw that in college, I was like, no, we're not the most disrespected. We're not the most unprotected. We're not the most neglected. We can't be. People like me here at Tougaloo. And that's just my undergrad. I'm a proud Miss Tougaloo College. But again, I was introduced to this at Tougaloo. And so I was in denial about it until I started living my life. And then I began to understand. Turn that cord. Oh, and again, this formula, inspiration plus imagination equals activation. That is how I sort of perceive. That's what propels me into my creative process. Something inspires me. It strikes my imagination and it activates me as an artist. That is my formula. My process is this. When writing play scripts, I tend to find good source material. I want to make connections between social activism and artistic practice. I tend to look to Black historical figures, events, important subjects or settings, rare footage, and I dive into research. That's usually the first step in my process. And then I begin to think about fact and fiction. There's this quote, it's an Albert Einstein quote, and he says, imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there will ever be to know and understand. That is pretty much what leads me to balance in my writing, in my work, what is real, what's imagined. And then my heart of service. Don't always write from the perspective of the giants. Focus on ordinary people in extraordinary situations and amplify their voices. In my work, this is just sort of like a code, a personal code for me, because it's like we know about the giants, and there's lots of information on the giants, lots of research, lots of things out there. But what about the people that shared the world with them at that time? Those are usually the subjects that really captivate me and spark my curiosity. And lastly, in my process, I aim to raise awareness. I want to position the piece with this play that I'm going to show you in a moment, The Cleaning Ladies, for example. I want to position the piece to become more than creative writing or a work of theater. I want to gift it to the world to raise awareness about social injustices of our past, present, and future. And in addition to that, because I am a Black woman, I want to write work that honors the Black woman. And this is my process, and it is what has given me many different opportunities. With this play, for instance, I wrote this play in quarantine, and it had been brewing for years. I came across the quote by Malcolm X in college. I saw some documentary stuff, and there was actually a Malcolm X documentary that was just sort of on my quarantine list of things to watch. And I watched it, and I was like, you know what? It's time. It's been brewing long enough. I've been in process long enough, so I got time. Let me write this play. Y'all, I wrote this play in 2020, and since then it has had 5 productions. People are very, very interested in this world and in these women. So what is The Cleaning Ladies? This is also some research. Remember I told you I always look for source material. So it began with the quote, and then I began to start researching because I didn't know how I knew that I knew that I wanted to involve this Malcolm X quote somehow. And as I began to research events around the assassination at the Audubon Ballroom, I came across the New York Times article. And it was published February 22nd, 1965. And it was a long article. But in the last paragraph of the article, it said, at 7:15 p.m., the police left the ballroom. 3 cleaning women scrubbed the blood off the stage and overturned chairs were cleared away. Now, they also did this because there was a party that night. They went ahead and they had an event, a party, in the Audubon Ballroom the night Malcolm X was assassinated in that space. And 3 women had the assignment of cleaning that space to get it ready for this party. And so when I saw that, it really just sort of locked me in, and I was like, well, maybe their names are somewhere. Maybe they were interviewed or something. And I looked and I looked and I looked. Absence. No identity. And so then there was my process at work. This is very small, right? I apologize for that, but this is just the credits. And the first group to handle this play was the Spark Creative Works Women's Writing Festival in New York in January of this year. And then in March, it also went to another festival in New York at the New Circle Theater. And then it went to Denver for this event called One Night 6 Plays. And just this month, it was an audio play, an audio drama hosted by Destination Freedom Black Radio Days. And what you see this picture here, this is the play. We're going to watch this version of the play tonight. It was one of the plays in the Fade to Black Play Festival in Houston, Texas, in January of this year. And so we're going to watch this play. It's just 10 minutes long because you can say a lot in a moment like that. I want to preface this by giving a content warning. There is some language. Apologize for that. But there will be a little language. I would say that it's probably PG-13 if I had to rate it. Go ahead, Corey. And this is also light, but this is just to kind of like.
And he came out on the stage. The introductory speaker turned over the platform.
And I instantly imagined that they were women of color, in terms of like their age and like their backgrounds. These are things that choices that I made as a creator and as a writer. Since they're a lot of well, we can get ready to play though. But the cast of characters, Thelma, Melanie, and go ahead and play.
And he came out on the stage. The introductory speaker turned over the platform to him. And he raised his hand and Muslim greeting. Salam alaikum. At that point,
this don't make no sense to me. Can you believe they got us in here? They really got us in here and they really trying to have a party. Now, how you gonna have a party on the day of a murder at the crime scene? It just don't make no sense. Look at this place. Mayhem. Look. No sense. It makes no sense.
At all. But I need this extra money. My husband's been working crazy shifts lately. I need.
And he came out on the stage, the introductory.
This don't make no sense.
And
This don't make no sense to me. Can you believe they got us in here? They really got us in here and they really trying to have a party. Now how you gonna have a party on the day of a murder at the crime scene? It just don't make no sense. Look at this place. Mayhem, look. No sense, it makes no sense.
At all. But I need this extra money. My husband's been working crazy shifts lately. I need this job. It's just a job, you know.
And a crime scene.
And a crime scene. But what are we supposed to do though, Mel, huh?
Hell, clean. Rent's due. Past due. I just can't have it here, right? Here. I just can't believe the man is gone. It's just so hard for me to believe he's gone.
I was talking to my nephew and he said Brother Malcolm raised his hand and, you know, to do that thing that he said. You know what he said?
Assalamu alaikum.
Yep. He said he heard a rumbling from behind, turned around in his seat to see what it was. And there they was, standing up. Said one of them threw a smoke bomb. Had everybody choking. Next thing he knew, gunfire. Said Brother Malcolm still had his hand up talking about stay calm or something like that. Must have been 20 shots fired. And then he said he saw him fall back in a kind of dead faint.
Unbelievable. Oh, I feel so sorry for her. Jesus, I feel so sorry for Betty.
And you know if they got Malcolm X, you know if they took Malcolm X out, who's next?
Of course. Ain't but a few Christmases left for Dr. King and anybody else on the FBI's list. Because you know this mess got D.C. written all over it. Because I don't know a Negro around here with the balls big enough to assassinate anybody. I don't care how powerful, what's his face, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is.
You grow some balls if you're broke.
Ain't that the truth? Everybody broke and desperate.
I heard the hit came from a mosque out of Newark.
I'm telling you, Thelma, FBI. And they better be watching King. So they better make sure they watch his back, too.
Talk about a loss if King Jr. get murdered. Now that would be more of a loss than Brother Malcolm.
Why? Because he Christian? We worship the same God, Thelma.
I'm just trying to say, Dr. King is just, he's just a little more, you know what I'm trying
Girl,
to say.
please just say it and fast. This mess starts in an hour.
Dr. King is about peace, all about peace.
So was Malcolm X.
Please, revolution ain't all that peaceful. Not if you're trying to overthrow people by any means necessary. Just what do you think that means? It certainly don't mean hold your peace while the Lord fight your battles.
Well, you can't wait on the Lord all the time, Thelma. Some folks need to be overthrown immediately. So Negroes like us can go to Alabama or Mississippi and have peace. Manhattan, hell.
Some want peace and some want power. Peace don't mean nothing to them nation people. All they want is power. And I ain't talking about the good kind of power either. I'm talking about the kind of power that makes you crazy in the head. I mean, look at this. Madness.
You got a point there. I just know that there's more than one way to fight the same battle. Now, Malcolm X said that as long as we begging for cups of coffee, we ain't gonna never have no real rights in the world. Dr. King, see, he wanted to have a seat at them white folks' table so bad, so bad. Brother Malcolm just wanted to show us how to build our own tables. Our own tables. I don't know, maybe you just don't get that.
Oh, I get it.
No, you don't. You're too brainwashed. The church done brainwashed you, love.
Only people brainwashed around here is them nation people. And yes, my Christian heart cries out for Malcolm and Betty, but especially for Dr. King. I think about Coretta all the time. All the time as if I know her. Do you think she's happy, Coretta?
I'm sure she cry at night just like you and I. Watch out, Thelma. Yes. Yes, it's blood because it's a crime scene. This is just a crime scene. Them pale-looking police. Shouldn't they be here till daybreak trying to figure this thing out? Why didn't they cancel this party? And where is Stephanie? She's half an hour late. I know she ain't expecting us to do all the work so she can come in here, straighten up some chairs, and expect to get the same pay as us. And I'll tell you another thing. I'm willing to bet that they weren't even interested in more evidence because they wanted him dead anyway. I guess how we feel about the matter just doesn't matter at all. The fact that we could also be mourning don't matter. We just women. A bunch of irrelevant black women who got babies and bills and will do anything just to pay the rent. Just gonna call us down here to clean up a murder scene, Oh, you still smell the smoke. They don't care that we women have to see all this. It's horrible. And they just let us come on in, morning and all, to mop up blood and gunpowder. Also, folks can come in and juke. Woo, we just got a party, don't we? Just gotta cut up. Can't take nothing seriously. It's sad. We so sad. Brother Malcolm was right. The most disrespected person in America is the black woman.
I ain't neglected. My husband loves me. Works back-to-back shifts. Sometimes when he comes home, he's so tired, he don't even eat the food I done wrapped up. He just takes his bath and crashes like a wave.
Does he know you took this god-awful cleaning job today?
Girl, no. I ain't seen him all day. He's working himself. Well, why did you come, Mel? You could have said no.
I told you the rent's due. And you know Lamb don't take no for an answer. You know what? I'm willing to bet this guy, what's his name, all over it.
Who?
Well, you know who. Conspiring to murder the whole time he out there raping women and getting them pregnant. You know who. Oh, I hate men.
Yeah, right. You hate men? I'm sure you woke up this morning on top of a man. And don't lie. It's unbecoming.
You know what? I'm not going to even... My hating men ain't even the point.
Oh, I got your point. You're more concerned about women being raped by Elijah Muhammad, yes? Well, let me ask you this. You don't think they want to be? You don't think them women want to get pregnant by that man? Ain't he like a savior some shit?
Watch your mouth. When did you even get here?
Yeah, where you been?
Oh, it's
Steph?
You ask. Rent's due. My sources say every woman in Harlem want to get pregnant by that man, especially if they can get paid to keep it quiet.
Well, I wouldn't want to.
Me either. That's a sin, you know.
Both of you broke bitches are lying. You know you'd give it up. Women all over Harlem are giving it up just so they can get some child support money or get their tuition paid. And y'all know the nation is rich. When times are hard, when you got a goal, and when you're on a mission, you do what you got to do. You see this? Principles of economics. $12. You know what I had to do for that 12?
Hell no, we don't want to know. And it's different with those men. Those men claim because they were created by Allah, they're sinless.
So they're hypocrites. Just like y'all's pastors, I'm sure. Just like my uncle who claimed to be a pastor, but ripped my hymen when I was 9. I clean the bathrooms. I ain't touching nothing in here. That's all they want is for us to help wipe away the evidence. I guess we're just supposed to help them make future investigation impossible. Murder at 7, party at 3. Must be crazy. And y'all up in here mopping.
Well, why'd you come? You didn't have to come. And you're late. We pretty much got it.
Well, if you must know, I ran into T's girlfriend at the bookstore. I got to talking to her and I got a little delayed.
Well, what you say?
Yeah, what they do to him?
Ma beat the hell out of him, shot him in the leg. Now he's populating the pen like all them others. See, everybody's talking about T, but it wasn't just him. It wasn't his idea. Now she's got to raise that baby all by herself.
I heard the hit came out of Newark.
What was T thinking? I hated to hear he got involved with this. Seriously, what was he thinking?
He wasn't.
I know he was raised right. I know he was raised better than that. I go to church with his auntie and I know she's devastated. Got to be devastated.
Well, you know men. Hard they claim to be, but child, that's so brittle. And the loyalty is to the wrong damn thing. Pray for a man to be a rock and he becomes gravel on a footpath. Might as well have just told him to jump off of a bridge. Jump off of a bridge if you love the honorable whoever. Just weak, I tell you.
I'll tell you what else my nephew said. He said they had to open up Malcolm X's chest and massage his heart. Massage his heart right here in this room. You mean to tell me that's not reason enough to cancel a party? But here we are, picking up the wood, sweeping up the dust, waiting in the aftermath. One thing I do recall the man speaking on is envy. Envy, he said, blinds men and makes it impossible for them to think clearly. They don't think. They just see something that they want and they act on impulse. Always needing to be aggressive, as if it makes them more of a man, like you said.
Thelma.
We got to hurry, y'all. The band will be here soon.
He did it again.
No, he just grabbed me this time. That's all, he just grabbed me. He did a set, and they didn't pay him like they were supposed to. He was just frustrated.
I know. I've been there. You know my story. Melvin changed. They changed.
You two are some strange fruit. You really believe that mess in the Bible about staying with your man, no matter how violent he may be? You really believe that there's no way out, do you?
Mind your business.
I could, but it's not my style.
Ain't nothing in that book a mess. It saves lives. It's saving your life right now. Mm-hmm. Now hand me that cleaning fluid.
Well, maybe not everything's a mess. I give you that. But it's all written by white men. Funny how white folks find biblical justification for the enslavement of black folks. Christianity, the Bible, has taught us to live as subserviently as possible. And that's a goddamn shame.
You know, I can be a little radical when I want to, but you are begging for a lightning storm. You need to respect the Bible, Stephanie. I know your mama raised you better than that. Don't be disrespecting God.
First of all, you don't know me. Second, I was raised by my daddy, for your information. And one thing he always told me was that the Bible was used to help keep slaves in bondage. It was a tool, you see, to help keep us Negroes civilized and to force women to stay in abusive situations. But I guess you're one of the ones who will stick to your vows until your bones break. Or maybe you're one of the ones who will stay, broke bones and all, cooking his favorite meal. What is it? Pork? Chicken? Pork.
Since you're so full of it, knowledge and wit, I'm sure you know that cigarettes will eventually destroy us all.
And third, I like living on the edge.
It's okay, Thelma. Thelma, you know she just one step away from a tribal name and the Quran herself.
And again, you don't know me? I'm a black woman. I deal with racism every day at school. I pay for my own college. I don't need a man, and I don't have time for the patriarchal bullshit. Damn the black man.
Just like that?
Point blank.
She young.
I know, right? Keep living, sis.
Oh, I am living, sis.
For yourself, and that does us no good.
What do you mean it does us no good?
If you're not uplifting the black man, then you're carrying the same venom that the white man has. Face it, you're not self-sufficient. You're poisonous.
That's actually what my daddy calls his boyfriend. Poisonous. And you know what, Miss Thelma? I wish all women had this venom. Because if we did, we'd be some man-biting bitches. And maybe we could bite them first before they strike and sink their fangs into our delicate brown skin.
Enough. I've had enough of you and that off-the-wall talk. You don't know, little girl. You have no idea. But that Bible is saving you right now.
You know, I feel so sorry for you, Thelma. I only hope that one day you come out of the darkness and into the light.
I don't need you to feel anything from me. I've got God on my side. There's never darkness when God's on your side.
Good God, would you both just shut up? Goodness. Look at this.
What's that?
It's a shotgun pellet.
Jesus, are you serious?
Dead serious.
God Almighty.
I told y'all. I told you. I ain't touching nothing.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently,
Thank you. And another part of the process is to let the people hear the characters and not the writers. And a lot of times my characters say things and have perspectives that I don't, but I honor them because I know that these women are real. And I know that their personalities are real. I know how they speak is real. I know their perspectives are real and controversial and challenging and messy. And I really wanted to honor that. So when we honor, I believe when we honor people in theater, that we have to let them speak and not try to be, and not try to censor them. Just something that I've learned. Okay. And, but Thelma, Melanie, and Stephanie. So what I did was I wanted to create women that represented different generations, different sets of ideologies. So Thelma is in her late 40s, Melanie's in her mid-30s, and Stephanie's in her early 20s. All women are Black and have experienced abuse and trauma. What those specific things are not said, but it is alluded to that Melanie is currently in an abusive marriage, and that Thelma once was, but she no longer is there. So yeah, next slide. The women, the play has a process also requires that you revise and that you rewrite and that you revisit the script. So it's actually a little different than that version that was performed. But this is an interesting line, and it says, it was Thelma's line, and she said, I ain't neglected. My man loves me. I look at James from time trudging through that door. He be tired, so tired, he don't talk. It's like he don't have nothing left in him to give to me. When he gets home from work and then back-to-back shifts, I just give him space. Most times, he doesn't even eat the food I wrap up. He just takes his bath and crashes like a wave that God awful when they were performing that play, Thelma actually got really overwhelmed at one point, and she did not complete a monologue. You wouldn't know that because that's just the beauty of theater. You don't really know when they mess up because we just keep going, and we still continue to try to find the magic in the moment. But in this, like I said, this past week, Black Radio Days podcast did an audio drama with Cleaning Ladies and one other play of mine. And I just want to play from the clip so you can hear the monologue that Thelma rendered in here, or see it or hear it in the play version. But I just want you to hear this monologue. And this monologue is pretty much what the play, The Cleaning Ladies, is hinged on, and it captures the metaphor of.
Destination Freedom Black Radio Days is a copyrighted devoted her life to protect his legacy. As a motel room number 303.
Maybe I don't know. But I know what I gotta do out here. I know how to not get stuck. I'm gonna be a major. I'm gonna run this world like a son of a pen. Believe me, I will not be cleaning my whole life. And you can bet on that. You are a colored woman. You're gonna always have to clean up something for somebody. Don't you get that? You're gonna always have to yield to some man. Black, white, whatever, what have you. A man is gonna be a thorn in your side. You don't get a pass because you're intellectual, because you're exotic. You think college gonna change the narrative for you? Smart black women suffer too. They go hungry and lose babies and get cheated on too. They get passed up and passed by. Your pieces are broke too, little girl, little colored girl. You're gonna always have to clean up mess, white mess, nigger mess. As long as you're a colored woman, you're gonna be cleaning up something. What? Are y'all done? Look at this. What is it? Shut up, man. Really?
You can go back to the PowerPoint real quick for hot back. But I just wanted to share that monologue with you because The Cleaning Ladies is a metaphor for what every black woman, regardless of the scale of where they fall as a professional, as whatever their role may be, and I really wanted to sort of capture that that black women clean up stuff. We're the cleanup ladies. So where did all this come from? Why am I this way? I'm not quite 40. I can see it in my view, but I grew up in Macomb, and I have lived other places, and I have circled back to Macomb, and that's currently where I'm based as an artist, as a writer, as an educator, and a nonprofit leader. But my family has a black business in Macomb that is a civil rights landmark. My grandfather was Ernest Nobles. He was the owner of Nobles Brothers Cleaners, and he was very involved in the civil rights movement because the Cleaners was a safe haven for SNCC workers and voter registration job workers. And many times our family's business was set on fire by police officers, but he and his brothers sort of had both a business but also a safe haven for people who are very active in the civil rights movement and actually hid them in the clothes, in the bag of clothes and the cleaners. And so I grew up knowing this, and I grew up being very fascinated by my family, by my grandfather, and I think that it was just inevitable that that I sort of took on this commitment to the civil rights cause, and so I tried to funnel, my passion for civil rights and for amplifying the voices of Black women through my writing. Okay. I want to wrap up my presentation by showing you sort of one more example of my creative practice and how my process works. In The Cleaning Ladies, they do talk about Dr. King's legacy. And before I wrote The Cleaning Ladies, I wrote a play called Bound by Blood. And again, I found source material that was rare, that was interesting, that people seemed to be skipping. And one of the photo that I saw that sparked me to write this play called Bound by Blood was the far photo of Beatrice Bailey on the end over there. Beatrice Bailey was the motel owner's brother of the Lorraine Motel. And the owner was away. His wife actually had a heart attack, I believe, that night, but he was off the premises. And so Beatrice Bailey was the person that cleaned the balcony, that swept the blood from the balcony, Dr. King's blood from the balcony. And these rare photos were released through the New York Times, through Times Magazine. And again, these are things that fascinate me, because I'm like, where is this person's story? This is fascinating that he had this task. And again, when we have these icons who, are taken away from us, we don't really consider people that have to come in contact with scenes like this. And so I wrote this play, and it's an imaginary circumstance of Beatrice Bailey, who swept the blood from the balcony, and Jackie Smith. And Jackie Smith is also a public figure. Jackie Smith has been protesting. I don't know if Jackie is still doing that today, but she worked at the Lorraine Motel. She was a housekeeper. And after Dr. King was assassinated there, if you lived in that motel, most people worked and lived there, you were kicked out, so that eventually it could become a historical landmark. And so when I met Jackie, Ms. Smith at the Civil Rights Museum in Tennessee, then it started brewing. And then I saw the pictures. So Beatrice Bailey's pictures, and knowing what his assignment was that night, knowing what her mission was, and how committed she was to protesting that the Civil Rights Museum in Tennessee even exists. Again, it's intense, it's controversial, but it's real, and people feel this way. And so I made them characters in this play called Bound by Blood. And this also takes place on the night of Dr. King's assassination, because they were out there. We don't know what they were doing or what their condition was and how they were feeling. But as an artist, I feel it is my job to imagine it and gift it. And all I have is a clip. I'm not going to play the play, but I have a short clip of from the Black Radio Days podcast, because they also did a reading of this play. And Corey's going to play this short clip just so that you can hear these characters, these people being portrayed in this play called Bound by Blood. This is the second clip, Corey.
Picture man gonna be rich one day. Been around here all day snapping that camera. I mean, that man is snapping everything. King's room, his car, even taking pictures of building across the street.
God forbid I ever see that picture, coward bastard. I read the shot. You hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. One day in photographs gonna be worth a lot of money. You watch that, what I tell you. He even got a picture of me sweeping blood off the balcony.
How does Walter expect us to work, huh? How do he expect us to work?
Here. Then I'll sell you something. Somebody's always got to work. You think I wanted to clean up all that blood? Hell no. But somebody had to do it. All these folks running around here, smart folks minded, and they ain't encouraging nobody that blood's got to go. Everybody just stepping over the blood. All on the balcony, stepping over the blood. Ain't nobody stopped to think, okay now, we're going to keep cleaning this blood up. I sat back as long as I could. Then I was like, give me that damn broom. All these important folks, reverends and doctors and lawyers.
Ain't gonna mess up them suits.
Can Mayor Lowell go down there right now? You better believe somebody got a job to do.
He need to go down. He the one who should have gone down. Talking about this ain't New York and the sanitation workers ain't gonna gain nothing by ignoring the law. Maybe Memphis need to be more like New York. Yeah. Maybe he need to go down. Building across the street, huh?
Reckon if I had a camera, I'd be taking pictures too.
I think it's a shame. He ought to be ashamed.
You're all right. He's just taking pictures and getting out of the way.
It's just too much.
So they're discussing with the cameraman, who was, one might say, now you're looking like, wow, that's pretty invasive. He's taking pictures of everything. And I do think that the cameraman had a pretty lucrative career. Take it back one slide for me, Corey, real quick. This was one of the lines, one of Jackie's lines from that play. It's just too much. Folks ain't want to respect his flesh. Least they can do is respect his blood. Let him rest in peace and let us mourn. And why you do that, huh? Why you got that man's blood in that mason jar? Okay, go to the next slide. And so I'm wrapping up. I just want to again, I want to thank you all for going on a journey with me that might have been uncomfortable at times, and I appreciate you being open to stories, which is what this is. This is storytelling, coupled with research and a little bit of a civil rights interest and passion, a great civil rights interest and passion. But these are stories. This is going back to the formula. It is the imagination that leads to the activation, and maybe that imagination could be a little more powerful than knowledge. Like maybe you can reach more people with the artistic mind, and over the intellectual mind. So this is just a quick bio about me. I want to mention to you, if you're interested in that play, Bound by Blood, I don't have a recording of the play, but it is published in an anthology of mine. And there's actually 3 plays in this book called King Me, all inspired by the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So this book is available on Amazon, King Me is, and I have lots of other essays and things like that on Amazon if you would like to see more of my writing. And on October 25th, in a minute, I have a new book coming out. I'm also a blogger, and my new book is all about, is all nonfiction. These are personal narratives that I have adapted from my blog. My blog is called Serenity Sunday, and the book that is coming out soon is Serenity Every Day. These are all personal narratives, and so you kind of, for me, I think it's important to dabble in different things because I need different outlets. Artists need different outlets. But this book can be pre-ordered right now at serenityeveryday.com. You can Eve has working here, Jessica Caremore, Eve Ensler, so I'm really honored and still like very, very shocked to be included in an anthology with these literary giants. But this anthology can also be found on Amazon, and I want to encourage you guys to check that out too. It's very diverse in the type of writing that's in there. It's fiction, poems, blogs, essays, personal narratives. It's really a really interesting piece. And that is also available on Amazon. I'm really fortunate to be one of the authors in that anthology. I think my next slide says thank you. It does. And I also, I know I went a little longer than I thought I would, but did anybody have any questions about any of the content or anything?
Now, on the blood, I see we talked about King's blood and Mason jar. What in the name of telling them called it Mason jar?
Yes,
That doesn't sound like, city stuff.
I know. It is what I saw in the footage. It's actually, there's a picture of him sweeping the blood from the balcony, and then he has an object that he's scraping it into a mason jar, which is what was on the description of the picture. It's really,
That's weird.
yes.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're gonna look. I'm gonna look and if I have my grades on it too. Yes.
Is the other one still in existence? The other one still?
You know what? I'm not sure. We've been to New York a couple times, and we didn't go to look to see if it's still there. In my research, I want to say that I saw that it doesn't still have that name. That the venue is still there, but the name has changed. And that was something I think that came up in my research, but I did not go by the site.
It would be so fun to see this stage on that stage. And, and it just disturbed me to my core that there was actually a party. I had no idea there was a party on that evening. And that they actually went through with having a party
Yes.
in that place on that evening.
Yes.
I really appreciate your research on this. It's so clean and your approach to it was just phenomenal, magical, very well. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm not gonna act like it's not scary. I get terrified when I have to sit down and listen to the women and the characters that I hear. And again, like I said, I think the opposite word is honor. Like, you hear it, this is what they're saying. These are the conditions and the lived circumstances of theirs. So honor, and sometimes it is very grimy, but honor, and there's beauty there, and there's strength there, yeah. But I do agree, it was very troubling to me to know that there was an event that continued. And why was that? It makes me, start to think about economics and money and power. I don't know why it had to happen. I don't know why, but also I did not live during that time period, and I was not there, and I also I try to be very careful with that because I don't know what it was like to be in that world, and maybe continuing it was a celebratory thing. Maybe it was a way to cope. I don't know. I don't know why. Yes. I have two. I saw a hand.
So, I just wanted to say, when you put up the title cleaning ladies, it brought my grandmother to mind. My grandmother, Elsie Raymond, George Raymond, was a cleaning lady. And she actually died cleaning a white lady's house. And though she wasn't in that situation, she was his foundation.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very, very vulnerable. Thank you. And my dad actually has a cleaning business. It is a profession that is very respectable, and I really wanted to honor that in that story, was that this is work that these women were proud to do. It was also their job, and they had to make money, but this is also work that they took pride in, you know?
Yes, ma'am. I know. Oh. I know your family very well.
Yes, ma'am, you do.
And they were very supportive of the civil rights workers. And they also, they also went in and cleaned their clothes. But when you live through that period, you live through that period because you're living through him and his legacy, and their legacy right now.
Yes.
And you and I met a couple of years ago.
Yes,
Came to my foundation.
Yes, ma'am.
And, who was it? She's,
And I interviewed.
Nova's sibling.
Yes.
And Ernest Noble is one that owns
Would you like to?
and Billy Ray,
Yes, ma'am.
Billy Ray, Joyce, all of those I know. And thank you for very fine family. That's what I wanted to see, as you can see by the works. So they're carrying on the legacy. Thank you, Patty.
And I did have the honor of interviewing Mitch Travis a couple of years ago, right around made my transition back to Macomb, and still trying to transition back to Macomb. But thank you, and my mother spoke so highly of you. We lost her this past March, Jackie, really. But she spoke so highly of you, and so you are really a prize possession in our
Thank you. And I know you were an hour, 6 months ago, 6, 8 months ago. Randall O'Brien, Dr. O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me that he was transported someplace. He asked me, like, I said, oh, of course. He said, are you still in Brooklyn?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
She's a must, you must contact her. I said, well, how do you contact her? You interview? She said, what a small world.
We just need to reconnect, and I hope we can. I hope we can. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I don't want to take a bit more time, but if you have any other questions, feel free to see me. And again, I'm really honored. It's truly, truly, truly an honor to be able to share this, to share my work, to be able to share my work with you all. Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
All right, so this microphone not working. Excuse me. Y'all enjoy y'all food now. Hey. Anyway, all right, so we're not done yet. Okay, once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out to Civil Rights in the Arts. We call it CRATA, CRATA, stand for Civil Rights in the Arts. It's a annual event that we have for Art for Freedom, where we bring out local artists to display their artworks. I don't know if y'all noticed, but we have some great art pieces around here for you all to observe, and we have some great artists here. We have our artist, Christopher Winfield. Can you say that, Mr. Christopher Winfield? Everybody see who you are. And he has his guest artist here. Robert Morris, okay, he's the other artist here. Give him a hand for bringing his art here. Anyway, all right, so before we get started, I'm going to bring my dad up. I'm going to introduce him. Before we get started, we want to thank Mrs. Palmer for bringing Tougaloo and Freedom Riders here. Y'all didn't have to come. We'll give them a round of applause for actually showing. but some of you may not know, but tomorrow Tougaloo is actually screening our film, George Raymond Thirst for Freedom, at 11:30 tomorrow for their program. And I want to have their program up here at the end of this presentation. But we want you all to stay for about 5 or 6 minutes. We have a short clip from the film that we want to kind of use as a promotion for the film. We have Mr. Mike O'Brien that we actually filmed for the film. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I want to introduce my father. He's the president of Walk of Freedom. He's going to come up and have a few words while we get that ready for you all. So, Will Kelly, you all.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Good evening. I'm so grateful for being here and being among the legends and the greatest generation that I've ever known. The freedom riders and the kids up with soldiers of World War II that taught us the values of freedom. And I'm so humbled to be working with you guys. I want to say thank you to the Raymond family. Would you stand, please? Raymond and Jackson, Brother Jackson. Would you introduce yourself?
John Raymond, George Raymond's son.
Eddie Jackson, Burgess Raymond Jackson, husband.
Curtis Raymond Jackson.
Kareem Ward, the son of Curtis Raymond.
Let's give him a hand. I'd like to say, Joe Mo, he came all the way here from Los Angeles.
San Diego. San Diego.
San Diego. I'm glad to see you and have you here. And for the family, the Adams family, Mr. John Adams, Miss Celine McIntyre Adams. These are the people that George lived with in Rankin County when he did his work in Rankin County. And I'm so grateful to see both families here together. That's really an honor. And I'd like to just thank Dr. Sidney. She helped me to find out in my over years that I am a civil rights activist. She did a little thing at Tougaloo. She said, "You are an activist if." And she named off a list like this, and I checked them off. Yes, I am. But anyway, Miss Elaine Adams, she led in the march at Brandon. George led periodically, and she led periodically a 2-day, 20-mile protest march for our right to vote. And she's right there right now. This is her book, Way Beyond History. And we have some available here today, and hopefully they'll soon be available on Amazon and in the bookstore. So if you will, get a copy, and you'll learn more about the life, the rural, poor life of a black person and white people in Mississippi during the early 60s and all the way up through 1965. We're going to take it a bit further than that. From 1965, we're going to go to 1973. So we're covering almost, a little over a decade. And in our series of documentaries, the first documentary, George Raymond, The Thirst for Freedom, is going to let you know who Mr. Raymond was. That he was not just a photo being led in handcuffs or being brutalized or hosed down or dogs terminated. These were real people. They had real families. And if you don't think that the civil rights movement and what happened back in the 60s is relevant, I invite you to spend a little time with the families, like the Everett family, like the Vernon Damer's family, Emmett Till's family, George Raymond's family, and all of them. selfish, forgetting about where we come from. And then we began to treat our brothers like the ones that had rule over us, as if we are they and our brothers are who we are, or who we were. So in this filming series, George Raymond, A Thirst for Freedom, you'll learn that freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. It takes determination. It takes courage to get the freedom that we have. And then after you get it, that's when the fight begins. If we fail to maintain our freedom, if we fail to follow up on our accomplishments, and to know who and when and where we obtain these freedoms, we'll lose them before we even knew we had them. And this generation today is just now learning of the accomplishments of a lot of people back in the 60s that sacrificed their lives. These weren't just kids. They were soldiers. They were, to me today, icons. They were the ones that led the way for us. And where did it start? At historically black colleges. Young students. And getting motivated, getting activated, getting out there to bring a better world to their children. But I think we took a vacation. I think my generation really took a vacation. Now it's time for us to evaluate where we are and look around and ask ourselves, are we pleased at the way and the conditions of our government that we're leaving for our children? Unless we get involved, unless we encourage them to get involved, run for public office, get out and encourage people to vote, get registered to vote. This message rings clear today as it did back in the 50s and the 60s. It's vital to us to fight this undeclared war. And I can say it was a declared war, the Civil War. It's never over. It's not over yet until we bury it. And how do you bury it? You bury hatred, you bury prejudice, you bury injustice. You get up off of your rear end and do something. It's too many years have passed, too many decades have passed, and we sit in silence. And here I am, an 11-year-old kid in 1964 watching the Freedom Riders and watching Dr. King, SNCC, CORE, NAACP. I was really off into the news, and you guys were my heroes. And I'd just like to say thank you for all of you guys that helped us in our march. Do we have 4 members? Members of CORE? All members of CORE, please stand. And all members of SNCC. All members of the NAACP. Thank you guys, and God bless.
Let's not forget the folks that supported them. Let's not forget the folks that supported them, that even if they weren't in the groups, that helped them out.
Amen. The least of them. The least of them. Thank you.
So the movement explodes on May 28, 1963. And that's when this sitting happens, where 3 young college students from Tougaloo College enter Woolworths and go sit at the counter. It was not unexpected because just the night before, the mayor had called off negotiations and said we're not going to negotiate. So the media was out there, the police were there, but just a week before, the Supreme Court had ruled that the sit-ins were legal and that the police could not interfere with the sit-ins unless they were asked to come into the store by the store manager to try to avert, disaster and probably again ruin. So the Jackson police decided that, okay, we're going to stay outside the store. We'll let whatever happens happen. So they misinterpreted the Supreme Court rule on purpose to allow the demonstrators to be attacked by a white mob. And that's exactly what happened. First, the black male who's in the store, Memphis Norman, gets pulled up in a stool and gets hit mercilessly by one really ardent segregationist who they come to the store. There's an undercover cop who arrests both of them and takes them out of the store. There are a couple of white students and the teacher from Tougaloo who are bystanders watching what's happening, supposed to call back to Medgar to tell them what's happening. But they see this one guy get pulled off his stool. The two women up at the counter also get pulled off their stools, but quickly get back on. And then these other two women join them. Okay? And then a lot of things start to happen. When white people joined, the white people, local people got really upset, started yelling and screaming and throwing things at them. A couple of the women get pulled off their stools and dragged out of the store. All kinds of crazy stuff happened. George, at this time, is attempting to, he's part of the demonstration, but not this particular one. He's out on the street, marching up and down the street, pretending like he's going to go to this store or that store, trying to act as a decoy to throw the police off. And so he does that for about an hour. And then realizes, with all these white people, the segregationist white people swarming into Capitol Street, hearing about this. It's on the radio. It's everywhere. People are hearing this demonstration going on down Capitol Street. And so a lot of kids, especially high school kids, swarm in to Capitol Street to try to, get their demonstrators to stop. But George is walking up and down Capitol Street, the main shopping district of Jackson, and he gets this feeling like, well, I don't think I'm serving any purpose here, and I'm actually kind of in danger. Maybe I should go in and see if I can help the people who are under attack in Woolworths. So he comes into the Woolworths, and at that very moment, a couple of other people who have joined the demonstration, by this point there's about 6 of them at the counter, one of them has been hit in the head with an ashtray and has been knocked onto the floor, unconscious. And George walks up very calm, very directly. Of course, he's been part of the war movement, so he knows how to do this. He walks right up to the counter, sits down, takes that guy's place, pats the guy up, gets him onto his seat. So now there's a couple more people that were there before. And he was just the calmest in the picture of him that I hope I capture later. He's just got the calmest look on his face in the midst of this chaos going on around him. That demonstration went on for 2 more hours, with people getting cigarettes put out the back of their neck, pepper and water thrown into their eyes, nasty things written on the back of their shirts with spray paint that the white supremacists were grabbing from the counties of Woolworths. Just all kinds of horrible things were happening. George, in fact, in the picture you see somebody has a bottle of milk and he's dumping it on the back of George. And George was sitting there like he's in church. He's just like a statue. It's amazing that he could keep his calm in that situation, that they welcome. After 3 hours, the store manager finally asked the police to enter the store because the store is being destroyed. I mean, people are throwing and grabbing stuff from the counters and just, so the police finally come in, get the young white people out of there, the rowdies out of there, and the people at the counter are cleaned up. and they go outside and wait for a ride and get taken away. So George participated in this most famous, iconic moment in Jackson movement history. And just because he just happened to be there, or else if he happened to be there, he's going to get robbed, right? So that really makes a big splash for George in Mississippi.
For coming out. So I wanted to share what Tougaloo's having. This is Friday. I should have put Saturday. I apologize, but their event is from September 24th to 25th. Tomorrow, the session starts. What time does the conference start?
At 8 o'clock will be, memorial service at 5 hours and the total starts at 10.
Yes, we'll be viewing the memorial source service at 8 from Bob Moses, so please tune in. I emailed all of you the link to their event also, and we will be streaming the rest of that film right there. Please tune in because Mr. Winfield has worked really hard on this documentary, and we have some great things for you, some great things. If y'all have watched it, you haven't seen it at all. Trust me. But anyway, so 11:30, tune in. But either way, I'm gonna send a link to everybody. If you don't have an email, we will get to you. This is the conclusion of our event. But we don't want to, if we miss anybody, that we did introduce today. I don't think so. Everybody ready to get up out of here. But either way, take the time. We'll be kind of chilling, mingling around, getting ready. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not from George Adams Farms, and my mom's board about way beyond Pittsburgh. And what I wanted to express to you, because this thing has been about women and how they have survived and gone through the civil rights movement. My mom is 85 years old, she'll be 86 years old. She went back to school at 35 years of age, had 5 kids, and got her, went to Mary Holmes College, and then she went to Tougaloo College. And she graduated along with my sister at the same time on the campus of Tougaloo College. And then she went and got her master's at Jackson State. So, another Tougaloo, what can I say? So if you are interested in the book, it's her personal journey with her anger and why things work, how they work. It's a personal journey with why do people treat us the way they treat us, and why, just that was a big thing, why. And so as a child myself on Head Start and the integrated school system, she paved the way because it was a torturous time. I do remember when the sheriffs would be riding, and my dad then would be trying to put up land and all those things, and the cars were out at night,
inspired mostly, like not this, the entire civil rights movement. It talks about it, but what we're doing here with all the filming, the film, that's pretty much where it started. My dad drove a lot of you down because he heard about George Raymond and he was hearing about stuff that happened in that book. So trust me, that's a must read. We will have it up for them soon. We're gonna have it on Amazon for them soon. All right, and like once again, I want to thank all y'all for coming out because you could have been somewhere else. Okay, and like today, what we want to do is want to highlight women in the movement. Okay, and want to show you that it wasn't just the men out there. And we also want to let you all know that it wasn't just African Americans out there fighting for freedom. It was white people as well. And I want to put emphasis on that. And you will learn that in our film, because we learned a lot ourselves. All right. So also we have posters over here for our guest, Mr. Winfield. He'll be signing them. There'll be 20 with his signature. But the family, but like I said, if y'all want Mr. Winfield, which is the original art for our poster, he will be signing them. And if you don't get it right now, trust me, you can follow us on Facebook, you can email us. We'll have more stuff for you all. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. Also, Mississippi Methodist Council, okay? I've been sending you an email asking, hey, did you see anything about the Mississippi Methodist Council? So listen, that's who sponsored this event, so get them a hand. And once again, I want my beautiful fiance to stand up. She is the voice. She's the one, she's decorated today. She made this place beautiful. All right, beautiful. All right, but besides that, Mr. Glenn Cotton. Mr. Glenn Cotton is here from the King Freedom House. So we have some icons here. We have the Raymond family. You're not going to get a better bunch here. And once again, I want to thank Mrs. Palmer for bringing her party here. She didn't have to. All right, give her a hand, give Tougaloo a hand, and give us the opportunity to do it. All right. All right. So with that being said, we will kind of Yes, it's pleasant. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, she helped us tremendously. Also, Dr. Chamberlain there at Tougaloo, she couldn't make it today. We'll give her a hand, and Dr. Chamberlain. She's been working with us, especially through the grants and stuff of that nature. We have some great things coming up, but we can't tell you everything right now because they say you ain't gotta go home, but we gotta get up out of here and keep going. All right, so with that being said, we'll be moving around, so just take the time and do what you need to. But tomorrow we will be at the conference for Tougaloo, okay? So please see us there. A few of us will be there speaking, and you will see the entire film there for you all. All right, so have a great night.